Beth Ann.
What's up? I'm Ayla.
This is Let's Talk BL, a boys love podcast.
It's Sunday, Series Sunday. That day of the week when now we drink.
Oh my
God.
And
No.
we forget how to do intros.
It is that day of the week that we talk about one series and one series only. I definitely almost went into the Yindi Tone Rapsu, Let's Talk BL Citywide podcast, which we are
We're
indeed.
fluent in the Thai now.
We are indeed still Yindi Tone Rapsu.
Oh,
yes.
I mean, always
But
mentally in Thailand.
Always.
Go to Thailand.
Go to Thailand. And
Amazing,
you know what?
Thailand sponsor us.
Mentally, I'm going to go eat some somtam in Thailand today.
Y'all, that was truly my first. I think I told 100 people. I was like, I need to know about the somtam. I need to try it because when I first watched the show that we're talking about today, I was like, I need somtam.
Also, William had told us a bunch of times it's his favorite. Right. And we just never ordered it in the States. First of all, because I will say, when I see it on menus in the States, like particularly menus that have the pictures, it looks sus.
Yeah.
And I will say, in Thailand, I had some amazing somtam.
Yes.
I had some really bad somtam.
So bad.
And so, I feel
God for that bad somtam because we got an awesome dinner out of it.
We got some. Did we have somtam for dinner that night?
No, but
no.
The reason I think we had dinner
was because the somtam was so bad.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think that in America, our likelihood of getting good somtam is probably low, but we could try it.
We have a new Thai restaurant locally that we need to try.
Yeah.
So maybe they have good somtam.
Maybe.
Because we just learned that the Thai government has given money to Thai people to open restaurants in America. So potentially they're pretty authentic. It's just the ingredients that you're
able to get here. I mean, also potentially we have this very show playing out in our local Thai restaurant. So,
I mean,
potentially.
Okay.
What show are we talking about today?
What's Zabb Man? I'm so excited because when this show first came out, I was pumped because I am a big BankBo fan.
Right. So I have a question about this. We can get into this when we get into the series Sunday.
Yes.
Because I have so many questions for you now that I've experienced this show. I have a lot of questions for you. I have a lot of questions for Bank and Bonus. I have a lot of questions for Star. I just have a lot of questions. So
I was also a fan of Hidden Love, which I didn't finish, but it was still good. But which was Boss and Peter's first.
Right.
BL.
So before we get into all of that, let's start with the basics.
I can't wait for you to read the synopsis because it's 10 pages long.
I have not. My new mantra for season 3 is just don't prepare. I'm just kidding. I do prepare, but I definitely didn't read through this in advance.
Okay, so the nuts and bolts. It came out this year on YouTube, not behind a paywall on Star Hunter.
Shout out
YouTube.
Star Hunter.
It's only 8 episodes. It's a fun watch. Other fun fact, the director also directed the first End of Love series.
10 out of 10.
Which is truly
iconic.
I love finding out who the director is because usually there's this fun little crossover from early days BLs that
I feel like you can usually see it. You know what I mean? You're oh, I see that.
And it's always fun to see this is a Wabi Sabi Katana crossover with Star Hunter to see how all the different studios cooperate. They're all besties. Okay. 8 stars as Tian Boss, which fun fact, this was also when I realized that Tian means candle in Thai. Poon, not to be confused with Poom.
Never confused with Poom. There can be only one Poom. How dare?
Played by Peter.
Shout out Atlas. Stan Atlas.
Mayom is Tora, formerly known as Bank.
Still known as Bank in the BL world, I think.
As an actor, I think he's still Bank.
Right. As an idol, he's Tora.
Whatever, he's magic. And then Tengnueng, played by the love of my life, Bonus. The famous BankBo.
The BankBo. Okay.
The BankBo.
I have a lot of comments and questions and thoughts and feelings.
Let's
but before I do that,
yeah.
Synopsis voice time. Poon is a hardworking guy. When his parents passed away, he quit school and started working to provide for himself and his little brother. Poon opened a somtam stall in front of his rented house, but could barely make ends meet. That was until one of his customers recruited him as a chef for a hotel owned by his friend. The hotel owner, Tian, is a young and hot-headed businessman. They had actually met each other before, and they had a bad impression of each other.
So bad.
When Poon found out that Tian was the hotel owner, he immediately refused to work there. However, Tian challenged him to do the job, and not wanting to be looked down upon, Poon decided to accept the position. Tian fell in love with Poon's food once he tasted it, but didn't want to lose face by admitting that to Poon, so he told Poon the food was horrible.
I mean, it's just telling you the whole story. Continue. You got it?
Yeah. The two always fought when they saw each other, but after some time, their daily spats grew into something special.
Something special.
I definitely, I wasn't reading ahead because, like, I learned to read. I did learn to read. No. So, like, public speaking reading, you don't read ahead.
Yeah.
I learned that, like, when I did debate in high school. Shout out my dude Purse. Same, moon gone. And so I definitely, when I read the line, Tian fell in love with Poon's food, I definitely thought it was gonna say and Poon, like, and then Poon, which, like, if I was a synopsis writer, that's what I would have put.
Yeah.
Or I would have been like, Tian fell in, but I would have, this is how I would have changed this last paragraph. Okay, so let's jump back up, second paragraph. However, Tian challenged him to do the job, and not wanting to be looked down upon, Poon decided to accept the position. Now, here's where my changes come in. This is what I would have been like if I was the synopsis writer. I would have been like, Tian fell in love with Poon's food as soon as he tasted it. But will he fall in love with Tian?
Cute. Yeah.
Done. Synopsis over. Boom. Mic drop. Someone should hire me to write synopses.
I mean, you could just write synopses on my drama list because they're like
who has time for that?
No one. We haven't even like edited the bios that we've now learned.
I went in and did one.
Oh, cute. Which one did you do?
It was one of the Heights.
Oh, fun.
No, it was David. When David was like, "That's not my birthday," because it was like a year off. It was like a whole year wrong. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay. So, where to start? Listen, before we get into this, I will say, I knew exactly why I watched this show. I came into this show with one reason and one reason only.
I was trying to get Ayla to watch this because I've been a Star Hunter loyalist since I fell in love with Kim Cop in the early days of my BL experience.
No, it's true, you have.
Because Gen Y season 1 was an experience, and I continued on through Gen Y season 2 because my love of Kim Cop runs so deep, and my love of BankBo so deep.
So I really wanted to be into Gen Y because I loved Two Moons, the cast. Yes. Did not love the pacing, did not love the way it was made, did not love so much about it, but I loved the cast, right? I talk about that a lot, about how, like,
Kim Cop Baz.
With Two Moons, the only reason I liked Peepaw was because I liked Wayo. So, like, Baz made me like Wayo so much, right? And so, like, I really, like, the heart was willing. But, listen. BankBo and Gen Y is... Okay, here's what I will say.
Psycho.
I have not watched Gen Y season 2. Probably for the best.
They put you through it even more in season 2.
That's what I heard. So, BankBo and Gen Y season 1, like...
But hey, shout out, because if you watch our Element episode, you find out that these beautiful idol boys just happen to be actors because of COVID.
Right. No, I'm not saying it was poorly acted. I'm saying that storyline is a bit much for me.
Yeah, it is a lot.
So, like, here, I was not like a BankBo stan. Like, I was not like, do BankBo fans have like a name?
No, because again,
I was not a bowhead. I don't know, whatever you want to call them.
No, because they're idols. I think the fact that BankBo took off,
but they were like BankBo first. They were BankBo before they were idols.
No, because they were in Superboy.
Mm-hmm. So
they were Superboy.
But I feel like you can still have a name. BankBo stands. Do you have a name? Would you like to name yourself?
BankBo family.
Family, right? It's like under all their little, Okay. Anyways,
what would you name yourselves? BankBo.
BankBo. What would we name them?
I mean, BankBo is so fun.
BankBo. It's a good, like, it rolls off the tongue. This is why he can't be Tora as an actor.
Right. They have to be BankBo. Tora bonus doesn't.
Tora Bo Botor. Botor sounds kind of cute. Botor's kind of cute.
Okay. Anyways. So I went into what Zabb Man because of Bank Bonus and because a lot of this cast is a lot of the Hidden Love cast.
Right.
And Boss Peter were very cute in that. And so
I did not watch the show when it first aired because I wasn't on board with BankBo. It didn't hit for me in Gen Y because of the storyline for me personally on a personal level.
Real big fan of Bonus.
And so I was like, do I need to watch this? And I feel like when it came out, there was like a bunch of other stuff that was happening.
For sure.
And
honestly, other than GMMTV stuff, YouTube releases get lost.
For sure.
For sure.
So I did go and watch this because after we interviewed Element, if you haven't watched that, go watch the Element interview.
Tiki taka ta.
Tiki taka ta.
Tiki taka ta. I gotta get that right.
I was a real big BankBo fan. I met BankBo in the real life and I was like, and like the other thing that was a surprise about Element, this is not an episode about Element, but I went into it. Okay, we cosplayed them as we are prone to do, hence us sitting here wearing aprons. And so, but our choices were limited because we were in Thailand and we literally were just like searching the malls in Thailand trying to like come up with a theme and do a thing.
Which we got a lot of quick wardrobe from H&M.
H&M, shout out.
Also,
sponsor us, H&M.
Yeah. The H&M at Siam is really great because there's also
Siam Paragon specifically.
There's also what's the name of that store that I got mine from?
Oh, Zara. There's a Zara right across.
Yeah. Oh my god. Is this because we're drunk or just because we spent too much time together?
Okay. Anyways, we were cosplaying them and you had to go for a different member because we were like, okay, we're going to be our favorite element.
Right.
Because, they all have elements. And we're like, we're going to be our favorite element. And so you had to go with a different element just because of like availability.
Right. Because I saw a blue shirt and was like, oh, I have white shorts. I remember
like this can be a thing.
This.
Right. Yeah. And so when you came back with your silky shirt, I had to try a couple times, but then I ended up getting a silky shirt too. And I was like,
I know you had gotten something different to begin with, and then like you had to change it.
I had to change it because I put it on my body and I was like, it's a no.
And then I found a shirt, like truly we found shirts separately and then it was literally the same
It all
shirt.
worked. But so I was, however, very tied to Tora being my element. Tora was like my element initially, Tora was like, yeah, it was Tora because
Made me watch out.
I watched that Chris Brown dance cover. Did you watch that Chris Brown dance cover? Because I watched that Chris Brown dance cover.
Go watch Chris Brown dance cover.
It was Tora, if you know what I mean. And so
he's gonna take you down.
I was like super, super tied to being fire. So I fully went in. I fully went into that interview being like, Tora, yes.
Are we gonna be Element for Halloween?
We absolutely should be. We need to recruit like 3 other people.
Oh my god, this is not an Element podcast.
This is not an Element podcast.
3 of the 5 elements are in.
3 of the 5 elements.
Man.
Okay, there is a point here. I am getting to something. So and then when we sat down for the interview, their manager actually placed them behind the scenes story. Their manager placed them. We didn't get to pick where they sat. Not that we ever get to pick where anybody sits. We just let them sit.
Yeah.
But like their manager specifically placed them in an order.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah. And I ended up sitting next to Tora, and it was a very exciting moment for me when I first sat down because like Tora was my element, you know what I mean?
Also, Tora got Mimi, our translator, which has been so fun to watch.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Because it's always funny when our translators become fans of people, because Kat became a big fan of Chapin Green.
Yes.
And then Mimi with Tora.
Yes.
He has gotten her, and he's gotten her so hard.
Oh, so much.
I'm so here for it.
But so I was not a BankBo fan until I like interviewed Element, and I went into that interview being like, I'm into Tora as an idol, right? Yeah. Like, so
you really liked Bank,
right? So I really liked Bank.
Okay, so all that to say,
well, okay,
bonus,
I will say I really liked Bank.
You were telling
Bank Pond.
You were telling the wardrobe story.
Right, because so what I'm saying is like you had the wardrobe and then I went with like a fire shirt because like my whole point of that was I liked Tora from the beginning. Yes. And what's interesting, when we did that Element interview, I was like, I don't know about Kad. I was like, I don't know about him. Like, he was a sweet boy, so sweet. Like, and he was so engaging and he was super funny. But like, listen, Bank really got me that interview. Like, he really like like my heart beats faster right this minute. So what's interesting about what Zabb Man?
Bringing it back around.
I finally watched What Zabb Man because, and I did it of my own accord. Like, you didn't even have to tell me to.
She put it on the list for Series Sundays this season, and I cried.
You saw it. I didn't even tell you. I just like, I sent you the episode list, and you were like, you literally sent back in all caps, "What Zabb Man?"
This was like got7 for me when we first like became friends and we were into K-pop. We were hardcore BTS fans, and I got into BTS and got7 at the same time. And so I was like, Ayla got7, and then she finally got into got7, and I was like, I don't believe it. This doesn't feel real.
And you know who got me into got7? It was Bam Bam. So you know, full circle moment.
And then she got me into Pentagon, and here we are.
So all of this is to say that I, of my own accord, watched What Zabb Man. And here's what I will say. I went into it for one reason and one reason only, and that was BankBo. Yeah. Fully BankBo. Also, and it delivers. Bonus, like, okay, you love Bonus so much more than anyone could ever hope to love Bonus. Like, there is no one that is more devoted to Bonus than you. But we did buy his little bags while we were in Thailand, and each bag comes with a card, and it's handwritten, and it's just like the cutest thing ever, and it has become our motto. Like, we just walk around saying it to each other, and so Bonus has a special place in my heart now. And he was the nicest and the cutest, and he like tried to teach us how to dance. So I went into this for BankBo. One reason only. And I will say the acting is so good in this on BankBo's part. I forgot about Gen Y. Like, I literally forgot Gen Y existed.
And then I was like, oh, remember?
You were like, oh,
how they started?
You were like, that's a throwback to their first ship. And I was like, what was their first show? And you were like, Gen Y? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
Okay, so let's start with the PeteBoss, Tian Poon of it all.
Sure.
They have a cute story, right? Like, Poon is this hard on his luck chef, and they have cute moments, they have development. I think them as a couple isn't for everyone.
I think Peter is really, really, really cute.
Peter's really cute. Boss is one of those people. He reminds me of a Dunn.
Well, you know how I feel about the grumpy characters. And
yes,
here's the problem with this grumpy character. He's actually not going through anything. Like, that's the problem, is he's grumpy for the sake of being grumpy. Like, the grumpy ones usually, like, he's just going through something. But, like, not this one. He's not going through anything. He's just a dick.
Yeah, he's just grumpy. He's like trying to keep his niece from Poon's cute little brother.
You really attached to that, but I like barely paid attention to that storyline. You were like, he's so upset about the little boy and girl, and I was like, what?
Yeah, because they were a big part of the beginning,
right?
Because Poon's brother is a big part of the story because they're really close.
I will say, I do think their first fall kiss. I love a fall kiss, and this trope holds up strong in What Zabb Man. Because, listen, we love an on-brand boy, and I love a show that just, like, really embraces a theme. Like, they're not willing to give it up because, again, we're sitting here in aprons to talk about a cooking show. So, like, listen, same, Mungan. And the fact that their fall kiss includes the, like, somtam, like, pestle.
Yeah.
Is wild.
Pretty funny.
Do you love my like kitchen vocabulary?
I do.
I almost didn't think I was gonna remember the word.
Pestle. Yeah, this show is very food heavy, which is funny because I feel like sometimes the food shows take like the food and the stuff take a back seat, but like we got some good footage of like we got a cooking competition.
It's also super cool. I didn't know there were this many kinds of somtam, even after I was like in Thailand for 2 weeks.
Same. So yeah, the main, I guess, would we call them the main couple? I guess they do.
In my heart, BankBo is the main couple.
True.
Always.
So yeah, if you're going into what Zabb Man, there's so much in what Zabb Man to offer everybody. The thoughts are hard to think now.
Here's another question that I have about the Boss Peter storyline.
Yes.
When he brings him the food, okay, so like
honestly, I don't remember a lot of their storyline because
BankBo, right?
And so the friends.
When Kad. He bring Kad, I'm gonna get to that. Oh, I will get to Kad. Don't you worry. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get to you, you little blue-haired boy. I'm gonna get to you. So this is stupid. Okay.
Series Sunday have truly taken a turn this season, and I think it's a turn for the best.
Always.
People love the chaos.
The question that I have, okay, not even a question, just commentary is whenever he has like decided he needs to prove himself as the chef, and he gives him all these like American dishes to cook, and all of the little friends are like, we need to help him, like we're a Thai kitchen, like we're not equipped to make these dishes. And the assistant, who she's my girl, shout out, I love her, I'm so glad she finds love in the end, because I was like, yes. She very much is like Sammy and Until We Meet Again, where you're like, she is perfect, she's wonderful, like she deserves all the happiness in the world.
Yeah.
She's like, no, like the rules, and in the sweetest way possible, she's like, the rules are like he has to do it on his own. But it's really sweet because she's like, I believe in you, basically, like it's cute.
Yeah.
And so he makes all these dishes, and she's like, you also, by the way, you have to be done by 7 p.m. And I want to say like he was like, that's in an hour, you know what I mean, something like that. And so he gets up there and he's brought all of the things, and it's on like a little like, also, does Boss live in the hotel? Unclear. Because she's like, he takes his dinner and his sweets at 7. Like he's like an 80-year-old.
We see where Poon lives. I don't think they ever go to
I think Tian lives in the hotel because she's like, he takes his dinner at 7 in his sweets. You know, the candlestick in the study with the like.
I mean, they do eat in the office all the time. So maybe he's eating in his office?
No, because he opens the door and he's wearing a robe. And this is why it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole show. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole show because fully Poon just looks at me and he's like, don't you want to get dressed? Which is the appropriate response when like this strange man has brought food to you that you're supposed to eat together. You don't open the door in your robe and you're like naked under there.
I mean, unless you're trying to suggest something.
And so I love these moments in BLs where they like react like a real normal human would. And in that moment, Poon is like, don't you want to, like, he thinks it's weird. He's not like, you know what I mean? He's not like, ooh la la. Like, he's like, don't you want to get dressed?
I feel like Poon's character this entire show is basically like,
he's sus of just everything.
Yeah.
As well he should be.
Like even towards the very end where, spoiler alert, Tian buys Poon a restaurant.
Right. Okay, we're gonna get to that because I have huge problems with that too.
He's like, why would you buy me a restaurant?
I have way stronger feelings about this show than I ever thought I would. It's ridiculous. But so now that I think about it, maybe the whole robe thing was like a power move.
Right.
Because he's like, I'm gonna be naked and you're gonna, like, it was like supposed to make him uncomfortable. Like maybe he was, which again makes him a dick. Like you already have the power, my dude. So like I don't understand the problem. Ugh, man.
The power dynamics between these two, there's so many layers to it because you have this socioeconomic class difference, right? Where Poon is very much like, I will not be pitied. I will not take your like pity
charity.
Handouts.
Right.
And so he's like, I'm gonna leave this hotel to go work for somebody else because clearly there's a thing happening here, and I don't want to work for you if we're gonna be banging. And then
also his new boss is bonus. So like, duh.
Yes.
Also, he's won a competition, right? It's not like he like.
Oh yeah, that competition, fun little cameo by Baz.
Yes,
love when Baz shows up.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's so many power dynamics with these two that it's interesting because Tion never really gets what the boundary is that Poon is trying to set, where he's like, I understand that you're trying to be generous, but also it's coming across as you trying to like
own me.
Yeah,
own me, because that's fully what it is, right? That's fully what it is. And I do have a problem with that in this relationship, because so like I just in general am usually pretty conscious of power dynamics in relationships that I watch on screen, because I do think it's important to portray proper power dynamics. Also, I'm pretty
because so many people have issues with them,
right? And
especially in the States. This isn't even like a Thai specific thing. This is a United States thing.
Yeah, like I'm pretty conscious of like my own power dynamics in relationships. Like I think about it a lot just with everyone. And so like it's just something I noticed just on a personal level. And so I have a big problem with their power dynamics, because it starts out as he essentially is holding him hostage for this job, right? He knows he needs this job. He's about to get evicted, right? Like all of this stuff. So he's holding him hostage with this job, and he's like making power moves over like, maybe I'll hire you, maybe I won't. No, right? Like, and then he's his boss, right? So like he's his boss, and they're flirting, and they're getting together. And Poon is like, hey, now that we're getting together and like my talent is being recognized, maybe I should take that talent somewhere else, so that like our relationship, right? Because he's like, and he even explains to him, he's like, I want our relationship to be separate. And they, in fact, when they have this conversation, they're doing it in front of like an automatic door. And it drove me bananas watching that scene, because
just move away
the
from
door just keeps opening and closing. I don't know what PA was responsible for turning off the like auto sensor.
Truly.
Oh, but it's hilarious.
Like, you know what really bothers me in shows is when, and the Thai do this so well, the States suck at this, is talking on the phone, but actually making the phone screen like a phone call. Oh my gosh. Bless the Thai for always calling somebody.
I feel like they're actually on the phone.
Hopefully. But that is one thing that bothers me. If I see a home screen and you're supposed to be talking on the phone, it fully takes me out of it.
I mean, listen, shout out, God, this is going to age me. Shout out Kelly Rowland and Nelly for that like XL text message she sent, like are the OGs on this one. Anyways, so like that scene is really funny, because they're having this like emotional, like
super emotional.
They're like crying. It's like a whole thing, and the automatic door is just opening and closing behind them the whole time. It's amazing. But so like he keeps trying to explain to him, I want our relationship to be separate from like the money of it all, right? And like that kind of thing, and like Tion just won't acknowledge it. And then
because Poon is a hard worker,
and
he doesn't want any handouts.
Finally,
he worked on that somtam not to be bought by some like wealthy businessman who wants to bang him.
And finally, Poon is like, bye. He's like, you've treated me bad for the last time, my dude. I'm out. And then Tion has to like make this little like sugar art on the plates to get him back.
That is actually really cute. It's ketchup.
No, he starts with ketchup, but then remember the niece comes and shows him how to use like a stencil and put the sugar, and it's like
oh, I don't remember
a whole scene. Yes, and because remember Tion has like IBS or something.
I love this part because Ayla's like, you don't have to eat the food.
You don't have to eat the food.
But like that would be disrespectful. He's making the food. Like he's trying to win him back. Like,
okay, take it in takeaway containers and give it to somebody else. Damn. Like I don't understand.
No,
because like
suffering for his man.
Fully Tion has IBS in the show or something, and he like can't eat spicy food, so he starts eating all the spicy. So he starts eating all this spicy food, and he makes this like sugar art on the plates. It's like, I miss you, I love you, baby, come back. And like
he says, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And so finally, Poon comes back. I mean, questionable judgment from my dude Poon. You know, Peter. Why?
Peter's so cute.
He's so cute. I would make sugar art on a plate for him. I would
too. We haven't even gotten to the bank bonus part of all this. Just you wait.
Poor Kad. Wait till I start talking about Kad. You don't even know about this.
Continue.
Okay. So, and then they get back together. It's emotional. It's moving. Bank and Bo have gotten together at this point too. 10 out of 10, right? It's like not New Year's. I don't know. They're all together and they're all dressed in their fancy clothes. They're all dressed in their going out clothes. Somebody's opened a restaurant. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, they've all gotten together.
Yeah, what is that scene?
And then this idiot Tian is like, I bought your restaurant. And Poon is like, my guy, I already told you this is not like a thing. And
right.
And then Tian is like, well, like essentially the whole time Tian is like, it's weird because it seems like he's so insecure in their relationship that he feels like he has to own some part of him.
Right.
And that's what I don't love about that power dynamic.
Also, side note on these two before we wrap them up, because we've talked way too much about them. The girl. I love this girl because she's just
Amy. I think. Yeah.
Played by Darren. She is so ridiculous that you're like, girl, give it up. Take a hint.
I mean, also like,
but she gets love in the end.
She does.
Love that for her.
And
she gets
the little
some
friend that she like falls for, like he's very
so
cute.
So like, this is a perfect BL girl character that I think like it's fun to hate her at the beginning,
but she has redemption.
She has redemption, and she gets a boy, and she's supportive of the boy. And the fact that like she doesn't like do anything against Tian and
Hold
Poon.
on. She physically fights Poon though. So like, let's talk about that.
True.
Like, actually, she physically fights Poon, which is like,
over
listen,
Tian.
Violence is not the answer unless you're Pan and Dome from You're My Sky. If you're playing the every time Ayla mentions You're My Sky drinking game, drink.
Junmai Katangpa.
So violence is not the answer unless you are Pan, in which case you are legally entitled to punch Dome in the face once.
Who else did we say should physically be allowed to hurt somebody recently?
I don't know, but Amy, no. Why? Like, she literally goes in that kitchen and she like physically fights him, and then everyone's in a fight. I will say I do love that scene because Kad's really funny in it.
It is really cute. Also, the fact that at no point did Tian lead her on or give her any indication he was interested.
She was just psycho.
Yeah.
I mean, she's real cute, but like psycho.
Yeah. Okay. Wrapping up the Tian Poon of it all. Let's talk about bank bonus. Let's talk about Mayom and
Tengnueng.
They have a very difficult name.
Bonus.
They have the sweetest little relationship. Although, curveball, Bonus has a boyfriend at the beginning of this.
I was like, hold on. This was truly a curveball for me. And I feel like you were excited for me to get to this.
Yes, because I love Jet. Go watch My Matchmate. It's a great show.
I can't watch My Matchmate now because
Jet is a solid actor because he is the type. He's a Neo, right? We talked about this. Jet is truly a boy that you don't realize this, but he could have chemistry with anyone, and he does have chemistry. I fully believe that him and Bonus have been in a relationship for 7 years. Although, if you're in a relationship with Bonus for 7 years, you better tell literally everybody.
I was going to say, I don't think I can ever watch Jet in anything again because I hate him so much because of this show.
His character in My Matchmate is so different that, like, I feel like you could separate the two.
This is like how, our creative director was telling us, we didn't realize this. So for season 3 merch, shout out season 3 merch.
We have a creative director.
We do. Shout out season 3 merch if you haven't bought yours yet. Pre-orders are open until October 1st. Our photo shoot.
Are unfortunately not on.
They're not. With Chris and Portia, our creative director, and neither of us realized this, the only Thai TV show in general she ever saw was You're My Sky, Junmai Katangpa. Right. And she told us, and we were like, oh, it didn't even occur to us. And she was like, yeah, I went into it thinking that Portia would be the better model because I just hated Dome so much in the show. She was like that when Chris walked in, I just thought he was going to be a bad person.
Yeah, right.
And that's how I feel about Jet, is that like I hated this character so much that like I don't know if I could ever watch him in anything else because like he made me mad.
He's an excellent actor.
Okay.
But he's very sweet in My Matchmate.
He's the worst in Zabb Man.
Truly. he's like the worst of the worst because he treats Bonus. You know, I love Bonus.
You love Bonus
awfully.
So much.
And Nung, his character is Tengnueng, but they like call him like so many different names.
Right.
Bonus's character, he's one of those characters that he's very dramatic and he's a very sympathetic character because he just feels like a damsel in distress the whole time.
I don't know if I would call him dramatic. I would say he is.
I mean, when he has that like headache episode, it's like a whole thing.
I would say he's blunt is not the word I'm looking for, but he's very just like, okay, he feels what he feels and he's unaware as to like how his reaction to those feelings that he's feeling affect other people.
I also think he like doesn't take ownership of his life, right? Like he's in this relationship with this guy for so many years that isn't honest with the public about their relationship.
When he was like, oh, I have a boyfriend, I was like, who's his boyfriend? Because like it never even occurred to me that character would be his boyfriend.
Right. And meanwhile,
they had already introduced him.
Right. And meanwhile, you have Bank that's like, I like it, I want it, I kiss it.
I was like, who's Bank? Tora.
Tora, sorry. Bank as in this, of course.
Right.
And so truly, I mean, Bank plays an excellent character in this because he immediately recognizes that Bonus has a boyfriend and he's respectful about it, but he's like, you deserve better. And I'm going to treat you better in a respectful way until you realize that you deserve better and you come to me.
Here's what I will say. I can see how, and I even experienced frustration in the beginning with Tengnueng, because I was like, it's so obvious. Like, it's so obvious. First of all, Tora with that friggin' haircut and like the way that they style him in the show, like, first of all, this is a similar situation to End of Love. Okay, shout out the director, where in Love Mechanics, you are literally, or I guess it's the first way it happens in Tasara. You're watching Bar be like, nah, I want this guy, not War Wanarat Ratsamira. Right? And you're like, what?
Yeah.
It's the same situation where you're like, you're looking at them and you're looking at the way they behave and you're like, what? Right? And so like I can see, and I even had this reaction of like frustration with him where I was like, oh, like you're killing me. Like, why is this happening? And then why are you holding out? And then why?
Yeah.
But now that I've watched the whole show and you know, I've like, it's been a little bit since I watched it.
Right.
It must have been really like from a character point of view, like from the character's point of view, crazy whiplash to go from like essentially being gaslit for 7 years to think that like you should be a dirty secret, to having somebody be like the literally exact opposite. It must be wild whiplash. And like, of course you're not going to accept that immediately and like think that it's real and be okay with it, or even think that it like makes sense, because again, he was gaslit for 7 years into thinking that he as a person was like a dirty secret that should be hidden.
Right.
So like, I totally get why he held out for so long and it took him so long, and it just like, you know.
Also shout out to Bank's character for just being such a stable, truly, and this is what we talked about, is like the range that Bank Tora has.
Toranin.
Truly, to go from the Gen Y character who's like the whole thing to this character, because this character is so stable and respectful and like he goes after what he wants, and then as soon as he's told like, hey, I have a boyfriend and like, hey, I need you to respect that, like he does. And he's like, but just so you know that once they broke up, he was like, I'm gonna show you what you deserve, and I'm gonna show you what you deserve until you can like work through your feelings, because like you don't want this man who's been in a relationship for 7 years to jump right into another relationship.
Right.
And so he gives him that time and space to be like, I will be this like constant, steady person that you deserve until you're ready.
When he's not like weird about it either,
No.
right? Like he doesn't pursue him every single day. He's not like, you want to kiss yet?
He just becomes his chef and shows him what he deserves.
Like, I mean,
Shout out
also
Tora.
friggin' Tora with that friggin' haircut and the freaking like the pants and like the like
he's styled excellently.
I mean,
we talked about this. The styling in the show, top notch, which is why, again, okay, here's the thing. Shout out Star Hunter, because Gen Y was a miss. We understand that. Gen Y season 2, hard pass.
Listen, Gen Y actually was not bad. Just that BankBo storyline in Gen Y, just like
rough.
As an adult person, and those were supposed to be high schoolers. It like I just
truly, but this gives me hope for Big Dragon that Star Hunter can pull through. Because here's the thing: I told you this. I told you what Zabb Man was good. Okay, so what is?
I don't understand why you would say the words Big Dragon to me right now in the current state that I'm in.
So what is your feelings on what Zabb Man?
Well, I'm not done yet talking about BankBo and their whole situation. So, freaking Tora with the freaking haircut and the freaking pants.
The styling
is out of this world. So,
Bonus has some good styling. Except for that weird trench coat shirt situation at the end.
He does look like he's gonna murder him at the end when he walks up behind him.
It's not a trench coat, it's like a shirt.
He does look like he's gonna murder him a little bit. The scene when you first realize that, like, okay, there's something going on here, when like when Tengnueng is getting jumped by the street vendor. Because that's a sentence that makes sense.
Yes.
Because that's a sentence that makes sense. So
also,
when
Bank Bonus don't really kiss in this show.
No.
Except for when like
right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
unacceptable.
For when Tengnueng is getting jumped by the street vendor because he's like, he fully is like, hey, you suck, man. And truly,
Mayom
is like, hey, like maybe like don't do that thing. Like maybe don't say things like that to somebody who's holding a butcher knife. So like,
right.
When I was watching this scene, I was like editing some photos and I was like vaguely paying attention, but like, you know, and all of a sudden, and so we go from he's insulting this old man in the street to we're like cuddled together in an alley, and literally one of them is like, "What that mouth do?"
Yes.
So like
we have the like, isn't it like from Japanese dramas where he pins him against the wall?
I fully was like, I missed a vital plot point here.
It has a name.
It does have a name.
The thing where you pin him against the wall.
I don't know the name.
I don't either. Gotta learn that.
So
I know the BankBo chemistry though.
I was like, I have missed a vital
Star
plot
Hunter,
point here.
Give BankBo a leading show.
I was like, clearly I've missed something, because surely we can't go from insulting an old man what that mouth do. But like literally, by the way, if you watch it, that is like essentially a direct quote. Yeah. So I was like, let me rewind.
Essentially a direct quote.
It is. He says, use your mouth for something different. And then he's like what?
Yeah.
So like fully it's like, what that mouth do?
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me rewind. Let me find out what I've missed. And the thing I missed is that the old man starts chasing him with a butcher knife, which like explains
and they
nothing.
Have to hide. Yeah.
So we go from literally 0 to 1,000,000. And that's how this relationship goes the
Classic
entire
BankBo.
show. 0 to 1,000,000.
I love BankBo. I will never stop advocating for BankBo.
Here's what I will tell.
Listen,
here's
go
what I'll
stream
tell the people.
Tiki Taka
Ta.
But like Star Hunter, give
me
Tiki
Taka Ta.
Give me a BankBo show.
Yeah, Tiki Taka Ta.
What do you think would be a great show for Bank Bonus?
Like one that already exists. Like if I could replace characters.
No, like what's a storyline that Bank Bonus would be awesome at? Friends to lovers. I think hate.
I don't want enemies to lovers. For them because they just did that.
They've done that.
They've done that twice. Like we don't need that again. We've seen it.
What do I want from them?
You know, it'd be fun from them mostly because, like, number one, I just want to see Tora's face places. So, like, I don't care what character he plays. Number 2, Bonus is very good at being like dramatic and like cryy and like, you know what I mean? Like
I have a show that they could actually be in. Okay, continue.
I would say like I would see them in like, and actually I could see this coming out of Star Hunter. So like, okay, Star Hunter, call me.
Line me.
Line me. Like a mystical storyline, like an Until We Meet Again kind of situation.
Cute. You know what I could see? Tale of a Thousand Stars.
Oh, I definitely could see Bonus
character.
playing. I was gonna say other way around. I could see Bonus playing a flute with a Sharpie beard.
I guess I could see that too. Tora would be a great spoiled brat.
Bonus playing like a sad flute. Like, yeah, I see it. But or like a mystical ass storyline.
Yeah,
that would be fun for them.
Did you just say mystical?
Yeah. Or even maybe like a Freaky Friday situation, like a body swap, but they body swap with each other instead of like body swapping with a girl, right? It's like Freaky Friday, they body swap with each other and they have to like, yeah. Okay, this is how we save the body swap.
Oh, that would be excellent.
But then they fall in love because they see life from each other's perspective. Star Hunter, call me.
The show.
Also, can you imagine Tora like pretending to be Bank? Like, it would just be really comedic too.
Cute.
Yeah,
it would be excellent. I think they could do it.
Okay, before we end, I do want to talk about Kad.
Yeah. I was gonna go into the friends next. Okay, so the friends in the show are so fun because you have Kad, and then you have the other two.
God.
Watch our episode with Element. Here's the thing with romanization of names, right? We experienced this with Sia. Is that when we first learned of Sia, we were very confused by his name because they romanize it S-U-A-U.
S-U-A-R. And so if you speak English, that's the second part of dinosaur.
So we're like
soar. That's what you think if you speak English because you know the word dinosaur.
Yeah. Not true. Okay, and then we do extensive research because I really care about names because my name is very difficult for a lot of people.
My name's super difficult, but at this point it's been messed up so many times that like I don't care. You could be like, hey, and I'd be like, uh-huh.
But because I grew up with a double name, I'm very attached to my double name and I want you to say both names always. And so I'm like, we got to get names right. And we also want to be respectful of these artists and be like, how do you pronounce your name? How do you say your name? Anyways, we found a romanization of his name that was S-U-A. And we were like,
hold on. We were like, it was confusing for us. And because we were actually watching that video for a different purpose to like find out something about somebody else in the cast.
Yeah.
And we were like, wait, did you see that romanization? We rewound and we heard Thai people saying his name. And we were like,
oh, that makes so much more sense. Sia.
So
the romanization of names is like a whole thing that it doesn't always work. So you have to listen to what the actual Thai person says. So on my drama list,
Kad
is romanized
K-A-D. But still it's the at, so it's
So for me, it's the hard K.
When he pronounced it,
he didn't want a Kad. He wanted God.
No, God. Because when they explained it to us in the interview, they said say God.
Right.
It's the A. It's not a hard A like you would say for Tad.
Oh, I hear
Tad. What the
hell? I
hear
a difference in the K and the G.
Right. The K and the G, but a big part of God's name is the A. You're not supposed to say Kad. Right? It's not like Tad.
Listen, we're Southern.
It's not Kad. No. It's God. And it was really difficult for us. And like, he was not patient with us. And that's fine. You don't have to be.
He's very cute.
So.
Are you going to eat these jalapenos? Is that what you're supposed to do?
No. It's a drink, you weirdo. So. God.
He's so cute.
Here's what I'll say.
He's the best friend.
When we told him that. He plays such a good friend.
It starts in the moment I need you.
When we interview, yes. I love that show so much.
I do too. Go watch that. That is behind a paywall, but like worth.
But like it's
penny.
so worth every penny. Like I'll pay for it for you if you're like I want to watch the show but I can't afford it. Like DM me, I will buy it for you. Like I don't even care.
Yeah, jalapeno's not good.
What do you mean?
I think because I'm used to cooked jalapenos.
It's just a fresh jalapeno.
I know. I don't think I've ever had a fresh jalapeno.
You watched me slice it.
I know. I think I'm used to pickled jalapenos. Well, pickled jalapenos would be good at this.
No, that would be so disgusting. What is wrong with you? Anyways, God, I really want to talk about. Let me talk about it.
What color is his hair in this show? Just black.
Yeah, it's just dark. So, like, here's my journey. I had a journey. I went through an evolution. When we interviewed them, I was like, this kid.
He's sassy.
I was like, this kid.
I
didn't really read him as sassy. I was like, he's super done with us. He wasn't. If you watch it back and like if you think about it, he wasn't. He was just having fun with us.
Yeah. He's fun.
But I think I was so distracted by Bank during the interview that I just like couldn't process. And so I came.
Tanateep.
Yes, Tanateep.
Yes.
I came out of that being like, I was just like, anyways. So I started watching Zabb Man and God pops on the screen and I'm like, oh, he's so cute.
He's so cute.
And I had this moment where I was like, oh my God, he's like so cute. And I was like, look at his little ears and look at his little nose and look at his little eyes. And I just had this whole moment where I was like, oh my God, this might be the cutest boy I ever saw in my life. And then like he was so sweet and so funny in the show. And like he does these like dramatic, he's a very dramatic actor, which is that's what's asked of him in this character. So he does a really, really good job with it.
Yeah.
And I had this evolution of like, I think I love God. I think maybe I love him.
He's
and like,
so sweet.
As I was watching it, just progressively liking him more and more and more. And then by the time we got to the end, when he's in his streetwear outfit
and his threesome,
I was like,
because he gets like a throuple situation.
A throuple, but it's like a fake throuple because one of the boys is like dating the girl Amy. Anyways, the whole thing.
Right.
I was like, I think I love him. And I do. I think if I were to ever be face to face with Kad again, I might have a come apart. I think what Zabb Man made me love Kad so much that I'm trying to say his name right.
Imagine if you'd see him in blue hair in person.
I don't think I could handle it. I really don't. I like him so much. I've gone back and watched the edited out footage from that interview like a lot.
He's so fun.
I think I like him so much. He has these little elf ears and he's got this little nose.
Little elf ears. Here's a fun fact. Most of the boys that we met in person, we are now more fans of after meeting them in person. Everyone was so wonderful. I'm having an existential crisis over Kad. I like him so much and it's because of this show. So like, go watch Zabb Man.
Yeah.
The show is great.
He stole the show. I think as a friend, he stole that show because like he would make these faces and the way he would deliver his lines. Also, he's the egg god in the show.
I remember you being like
10 out of 10.
I wish we could have remembered, or I wish we would have known that for the interview, so we could have been like, "Hey, Kad, how do you like your eggs?"
Right, because it would have been funny.
Or like, do you make eggs?
Tell can you make an omelet? Because he in our interview he hassles Bonus about not being able to cook.
Right.
So like I totally would have been like, hey Kad, like make me an omelet because he's like the egg god in the show, which I think is like hilarious.
Funny. Yeah. Kad. The friends are really cute in the show. They're the friends in a lot of Star Hunter things. Kind of like the Love Mechanics friends. Like there's that like solid friend group.
Again, I feel like
it makes or breaks the show.
Yeah. The friends really do, because if you have lackluster friends, there's no backbone to it.
Yes. And that's what I really love about Love in the Air right now, is that like the friend group is what makes a show. Like the lead couple, great, whatever. If they have chemistry, that's awesome. But what gives us a show substance is those character friendships.
Right.
It's being able to go to your friend and have a conversation about what you're going through.
Here's why. Because it makes the main characters human. Because you can see their relationships with people that are not people that they're romantically interested in.
We saw it in Until We Meet Again. Until We Meet Again was a solid show because the friendships in that show really ground it in like reality.
Well, Until We Meet Again is a solid show for so many reasons. I maintain Until We Meet Again is truly a masterpiece.
I mean, and the friend group in I Promised You the Moon was what redeemed it.
Right. O's friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those friends were solid.
Yeah.
There weren't enough friends until in You're My Sky.
Jude My Kotongfa. Well, the problem is like there were 6 leads and they were all friends. Like they were the friend group. The leads were the friend group.
Pan and San's friendship really redeemed. Pan and I's friendship really redeemed that show.
Pan
also V's friendship with everybody.
Again, the 6 leads were the friends and they were so solid. And that's what made You're My Sky so special, Jude My Kotongfa, is that like you have the friend group, but they're also the leads, right? Because how many times have we watched a show and you're like, I wish this friend was a lead?
Yeah. That's it.
You're My Sky, Jude My Kotongfa did that.
Speaking of
groundbreaking.
Season 3 merch has been released.
It's out. We've been teasing this in season 2 because we booked this photo shoot so long ago. And I want to point out, we've gotten a couple questions.
Okay.
That were like, why is Sia not in this photo shoot? Or did you try to get Sia? Did you try to get the whole cast and you couldn't? I want to be very, very clear with everyone. From the beginning, we only booked Chris and Portia.
Because
Chris and Portia were our first, last, and only choice.
We wanted redemption for Dumpy.
We also wanted to pay our friends. And we wanted to hang out with them. And so I want to be very clear with everybody because we've gotten this not overwhelmingly, but a couple times.
Right.
And like, I think it's important that people know Chris and Portia were our first, last, only choices for this. Yeah. And
they have excellent chemistry.
Yeah.
There's just such a fun duo that I think for a Let's Talk BL brand ambassador, somebody commented, no, the perfect brand ambassadors don't exist except for Chris and Portia for Let's Talk BL. And truly, they are correct. So go pre-order your merch.
Pre-orders are open now through October 1st.
It does not include an apron.
No aprons. If you want an apron next time, let us know.
Maybe we'll give these away eventually.
No, they have La Cuisine memories.
It's true.
Yeah. So pre-orders are open until October 1st. Yeah. Shop.letstalkbl.com. There are 4 pieces. They're all available in multiple colors except for the Sia, which is the hat. The hat is very cool because they're all individually dyed, which means each pattern is different. We worked so hard on this, and we're so glad that so far people are loving it. But your pre-orders can only roll in through October 1st. And also, the first 100 pre-orders get a Chris and Portia postcard.
Yes.
And there's a special surprise on the postcard that no one knows about.
Stay tuned.
And if you order $100 or more, you will get both postcards. So there's 2 versions.
Worth it. These photos are superb.
They're outstanding.
Go watch the vlog.
And if you're doing a group order, so a couple of the orders that have come in kind of look like group orders. We might be reaching out to you if you are one of them, just to make sure. If you're doing a group order, please let us know because we want to make sure that every order in your group order gets a postcard. So just hit us up.
Let us know. This has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL. Bye.